Have you ever wondered what happens when a restless soul refuses to leave its earthly vessel? Tonight, we unravel a story so terrifying it blurs the line between the living and the dead. Imagine being alone with a body that isn't entirely lifeless. What would you do if the dead began to whisper your name? Late one stormy night, Zara, a former forensic photographer, began her first shift as a night attendant at Grey Pines Mortuary. She had taken the job to escape her past. A devastating accident during her career had led her to abandon photography altogether. Her night started uneventfully, with a cup of coffee and some paperwork. But just past midnight, the silence was shattered by the arrival of an unmarked van. Two men wheeled in a body bag. "This one's urgent," one of them said gruffly, avoiding eye contact. "No questions, no paperwork." Before Zara could protest, they left. Alone, she stood staring at the bag. Something about it felt wrong. Curiosity got the better of her, and she unzipped it. Inside lay the body of a young woman. Her face was pale, and her skin bore faint, cryptic symbols carved into it. Zara noticed that the woman's hands were clenched tightly as if holding on to something unseen. The tag on the bag read, "Unknown female, recovered from sacred woods." Zara's unease grew as she prepared the body for refrigeration. The mortuary lights flickered, and a strange sound echoed through the room. It was faint at first, like a distant whisper, but soon became a chilling chant in a language Zara didn't recognize. She froze, her heart racing. The sound seemed to come from inside the body. Zara shook her head, trying to dismiss her fear. "I'm imagining things," she told herself. She turned to place the body on the slab, but as her hands touched the woman's arm, the chanting stopped abruptly. The woman's fingers twitched. Zara stumbled back, her eyes wide. "This can't be happening," she whispered. The body lay still again, but the air in the room felt heavier, colder. Then Zara noticed something even more disturbing. The symbols on the woman's body began to glow faintly, pulsating like a heartbeat. Suddenly, the mortuary door slammed shut. Zara screamed and ran to open it, but it wouldn't budge. Behind her, the body bag rustled. She turned slowly, dread clawing at her. The corpse sat up, its head tilting unnaturally to one side. The woman's dead, unblinking eyes locked onto Zara. "Help me," the woman's voice rasped, but it wasn't her voice. It was layered, deep, and otherworldly. Zara backed away, her breath shallow. "What do you want?" she managed to ask. The corpse stood, its movements jerky but purposeful. "Release me," it growled. Zara's mind raced. She remembered the cryptic symbols on the body and realized they weren't just marks, they were seals. Someone had trapped whatever was inside this corpse, and now it wanted out. The whispers returned, louder this time, echoing Zara's name. The room grew darker, the air thick with malice. Desperate, Zara grabbed her phone to call for help, but the screen shattered in her hand. The corpse moved closer, its lifeless eyes burning with hatred. "You can't leave," it hissed. "You've seen too much." Zara spotted an old journal on the mortuary desk, one she hadn't noticed before. Flipping through it, she found a passage describing rituals and seals used to trap malevolent entities. One sentence stood out. "To destroy the host is to release the darkness. To seal it again, sacrifice is required." She realized the corpse wasn't the enemy, it was a vessel, containing something far worse. But to stop the entity, Zara would have to risk her own life. The corpse lunged at her, its movements violent and frenzied. Zara dodged and grabbed a scalpel. With trembling hands, she slashed at the glowing symbols, disrupting the seal. The corpse let out an unearthly scream as black smoke erupted from its chest, filling the room. Zara fell to the ground, choking as the darkness swirled around her. The whispers turned into a deafening roar, and then, silence. When Zara opened her eyes, the room was still. The corpse lay lifeless, the symbols faded. But Zara knew the entity wasn't gone. On the wall, scrawled in blood, were the words, "I will find another." Zara quit the job the next morning, but the experience haunted her. Every night, she heard faint whispers calling her name, no matter where she went. One evening, she received a package. Inside was a photo of another corpse, marked with the same cryptic symbols. Attached was a note. "It's your turn now. What would you do if you were trapped with something truly evil? Would you fight back, or would you succumb to the darkness? Let us know in the comments. And remember, the dead are never truly silent.